topic?
We're ready.
Okay, all right. Today's question is, should spreading misinformation knowingly on social media get you in trouble with the law?
No.
Not just social media.
Well, see,
Is this based off the Elon Musk interview or no?
no.
I
This
watched
is actually based off of, because supposedly, there's a huge problem with mass shootings this country has been having or whatever, and so, but also there's been a lot of hoaxes, a lot of like robocalls being called to schools all around the country and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That turned out to be fake and stuff, and then this has also been spreading fear to a lot of people, and it's making a lot of people go on Facebook and say, "Oh, I heard of it just happened around here recently," and someone said, "Oh, there's a school shooting at this school," and then everyone's like freaking out and panicking, and they don't.
There were like 12 districts in the area that had false threats in the same day.
And you got to remember, like,
isn't that illegal?
these people are
I
parents.
believe it is.
Aren't bomb threats?
I think
Yeah, those are illegal, and then that's
Right.
not what we're talking
But
about.
that's kind of the same concept, though. Like,
Well, yeah, but it turned out to be false. But people on Facebook were talking about it as if it was like actually happening, and
but they didn't know
Like
it was
that.
false.
But that's, you can't.
What's
blame
that?
Did they know it was false?
they didn't know anything. But they were reporting prematurely.
them. They jumped on the rumor.
Yeah.
So you can't
Do
be
you
mad at them.
understand why they would? I mean, you have small children, both of you do. Wouldn't you? Like, I mean, I understand why people do
Yeah.
that. You're scared. There's fear. You're talking about children with
Mhm.
like the school shooting things. So yeah, they're gonna jump. With them, and that's them not knowing. So that's totally different of actually knowing.
Yeah. I think if you don't know the details and you're just running your mouth, I think that's
Yeah,
kind
but
of
I
an
mean, I
issue.
So
think
that's what
that's
people
kinda
do
different.
with everything.
Isn't generally free speech protected
Yeah.
in the country to say something someone else doesn't want to hear?
Yeah.
I remember growing up, when I first started getting internet access, one of the very first things I was taught is don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Said Abraham Lincoln.
15 years later,
Mhm.
it's the old people falling for everything on the internet.
It really
Yeah.
is true. Yes.
The same people that were telling me not to believe everything
Right.
People
I
do
mean, that's
it all
not true.
now.
Because
are
your parents
now
are
the
not-
same people
Yeah.
That's
doing
not
that. No, I see people all the time on Twitter talk, say stuff like, they'll just blatantly lie about
Mhm.
stuff.
true.
And then the people go on and on in the comments, and then the person will tweet back, reply, being like, I just made all this up. Like, I don't know why you guys are believing me. Why would you believe me? I'm a random account on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there should be legal problems, but I do think it should be frowned upon. Why would you want to make up stuff?
I think it is frowned upon.
So then
Okay.
Why would you want to make up things that's going to spread fear?
Clicks.
Clicks, yes.
It's
people don't care.
And then
It's just
maybe there should be some sort
Feeling
of
of power.
consequence for that, because I just feel like that is, at the end of the day, it's still wrong.
I think people do have consequences for knowingly spreading. So, free speech is one thing; you might not get arrested for it, but that's different than having consequences for your actions.
Yeah.
Like I might say that I don't trust women, which is not true. But like, it's not against the law to say
Yeah.
that.
Right.
But that kind of statement would have consequences.
Right.
People might say, I don't want to be around that person.
Yeah.
the argument with spreading misinformation illegal would just be like making lying illegal. Lying isn't illegal.
Yeah.
Right.
Also true.
Like
Mhm.
Yeah. It's all protected.
there's it's a whole genre of posting on the internet. It's called shit posting.
Mhm.
You're just
And
having fun. You're just
And I thought it was Elon Musk that watched. He was in some interview recently with some BBC reporter, and it was interesting because misinformation is such a people all the time are guilty. That's a strong word. People all the time present information that turns out later to be false.
Yeah.
And they didn't know at the time it was false.
Mhm.
And I feel it's hard to like. What's the timing
Yeah.
of stuff? Did you know exactly when this was false? Or did
Yeah.
you do it, and then how do you
Did you
police
knowingly?
that?
And that was the question. I was like, if you know that it's false, if you know that it's not real, that it's not, but you say it anyways.
No, because I think isn't that like a lot of jokes too?
Well,
I don't think. Yeah, it's like read what you want on the internet. It's not.
hmm So you're like but like journalists, like they are held to a higher standard. They cannot.
They're doing it professionally.
Yeah.
They're getting
And it's their
paid,
Mhm.
and that's their job, and then
And their
it-
credibility could be demolished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a
Quickly.
word.
That's what makes
Yeah.
it better.
Quickly, too.
Of the journalist or of the
station?
place
Where
that
they
they
work
work
for,
for.
yeah.
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 The
I
show,
was gonna
yeah.
say that's the difference between a no-name journalist and a big one is the credibility. Like, how much do people trust your info?
And like I think they do have consequences. Wasn't Brian Williams? He was like NBC Nightly News.
Yes.
Like
Mhm.
you guys not heard of him, but he was yeah.
Yeah.
But like
I was there.
one of the and he said it was like in a helicopter overseas that had
Mhm.
like this problem and like it never happened, and he was pretty much fired as
Yeah.
he should have been.
Yeah.
Now he was gone for a while. I think now he has his own show on like MSNBC, which is not really a real show,
Yeah.
but it's a show. We had consequences.
Yeah, big one.
Yeah.
Mhm. So you don't think any kind of legal or anything should be done if like because that from what I'm reading they're saying that is the problem, and as they said that's also the problem with like say like swatting and stuff like that is people go on and say like this person is a threat, this person is holding a weapon, this person has a bomb, and then people like they have to take it seriously, they notify the police, and then they have to go check on somebody. So
I don't remember the exact thing, but wasn't there some event of like free speech not being protected? It was in some crowded theater. Someone yelled fire. Like people got out, like ran, some got trampled and
it's
got
called
killed.
something else.
And it was like
fear
well,
mongering.
No, it's
it's
called
like you
something
have freedom
else.
of speech to
There's
say it,
actually
but like you incited
Mhm.
some
Right.
sort of
Yeah,
riot,
well,
like
like
you
it's-
died
it's
Yeah.
because of
fear.
what you did.
Yeah, so you
Like that's a consequence.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is kind of where this is.
So that kind of happens.
Where if you're inciting fear, if you're knowingly spreading misinformation and you're inciting fear
Well, I don't
and you're
think-
making people
It's different.
That's
who are going to be our
different. That's different
politicians?
than somebody
Because
actually
that's every
dying.
politician.
what
Who's
is,
gonna be a
but
politician?
that's what I'm talking about though. And that's what this
Yeah.
article, the NPR, that's what they were
I think
because
that-
it's in regards of misinformation about these school shootings and stuff like that. People are saying that there's an active shooter at the school. This kid has a gun, so now that makes the SWAT team have to go storm a school and put it on
Yeah.
lockdown, and then they have to
But
roll
that-
in the hallways with actual guns. You know how many people have accidentally been shot?
But wouldn't that
because-
person face some sort of
Yes.
Yeah.
consequence?
That person
Yes,
will get in
that
trouble.
person actually
Right?
does.
Yeah, but
That person has to face something.
they do, but like the spreading misinformation, just that always a higher possibility.
I think
I
it's
think
always
it's a
been a
I mean,
possibility.
it's
Yeah.
always, but like
Lie all the
you
time.
can't
can-
blame.
It goes
the
back to
crowd
like
for
I used to tell
reacting.
you guys when you can say what you want.
Mhm.
You can do what you want.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that you're not going to have
There are
consequences
consequences,
or
yeah.
you're going to get in trouble for said thing. So
Mhm.
yeah, and I think obviously it's the topic. I mean, we're
Yeah.
talking about something
Mhm.
that is using police resources, using
Mhm.
other resources that cost somebody money.
Yeah,
So therefore, yeah, you can't just say like a threat
yeah,
and expect nothing to happen. Now the substandard of, or the sub, of that is like, say if I found out that so and so said blah blah blah,
Mhm.
and then I was like scared for whoever, and I just post, hey, there's this.
Mhm.
That's not knowing. So I guess that's a different topic.
Mhm. I think if you're doing something that issues a police response, regardless,
Right,
I feel
which I
like
think
you
there are
should be
those
in
laws.
trouble.
I think there
Well,
are.
I
but
think there
that's
are
you
those.
just answered your question.
Yeah.
If the police are responding, then that means someone's getting in trouble. Like,
Well,
Or,
if,
like, are you
if,
just
if
saying,
it's
like,
false,
an
if it ended up being a total
yeah,
lie,
but yeah,
But there is. Because like even
Yeah.
people who like you hear like it's far and few between, but like you go missing.
Mhm.
And then there's all these resources that go in to try to find somebody, and it turns out that actually wasn't that.
Mhm.
Someone's paying money
yeah,
for what happened.
Mhm.
So it's kind of the same, different topic, same vibe.
Yeah, and that's where I was kind of going. I think if that was to happen, and it probably is, but there is a lot of people that do spread misinformation that could be the case, but thankfully just it wasn't. Should those people be responsible
probably
just for the
just-
potential
I
problem
think
that it
if
could
there's
bring?
potential, then no. If nothing actually came out of what they said, then no,
Yeah.
because nothing
Mhm.
happened.
Yeah,
Just some verbal garbage put on the internet somewhere, which happens every day, all day.
yeah,
that's what I said. That's more of a media thing.
Yeah.
than-
But if something came out from what they said, then yeah, that's illegal. That we have those laws.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah.
You can't just pose a threat and then nothing,
hmm
and not be expected. And if there's nothing happens,
So you're saying only if something happens should someone get in trouble?
yeah, usually. I mean, isn't that the case with everything?
Like, I don't
Not
know who
cool.
called in those false threats with the school stuff a couple days ago, but I'm imagining they'll face consequences.
Yeah, well, supposedly you can go on the dark web and you can pay somebody a few dollars, and they use these cheap third-party apps, phone apps, and they can call in a threat for it. If you don't want to go to school, and they've been tracked to multiple countries outside, and places outside the United States, and it's been really hard. And it's supposedly it's been happening, and it's been happening more and more for like the last year.
Yeah. Well,
And then they say that there's always a trend. If a robocall happens, word gets out on social media, people start talking, and then fear gets spread around, and people start panicking. And then you have, parents that will pull their kids out of the school. Then you have police units getting, issued. It's.
but that is a threat. So there is something, a blatant threat or
Mhm.
a lie. So somebody does. If they can track it, somebody will get in trouble for that.
Yeah. Threatening something, I think, is a lot different than just lying on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone was just like, "Oh, I saw a guy in the school parking lot with a gun,"
What
even
can-
though they didn't see it, even though they did not actually see it, but they said that they made it a post on Facebook, and that did not happen.
Well, I'm sure something will come of that, right? Like somebody
Yeah.
somewhere is going to report this to a police. and
Even
that's
though
gonna
nothing actually happened.
Because they would talk to
No.
that guy, be like,
They're still gonna invent-
when
yeah.
and where were you? Like, they would ask, and
Mhm.
that guy in particular, and if
Yeah.
it was just like, they could look at the cameras and be
I-
like, no one was there, you lied.
Yeah, I just see it just
you get in trouble.
differently. I just see that as it's just inciting fear, and I just feel like, okay, jokes are not all aside or whatever. I don't think that's funny. So
No, I'm not
I
sure.
think something. I would like something of some consequence to happen to people that do that.
But I'm sure they would, because
Maybe
that's
there are.
something's
Yeah.
going to happen. If somebody posts that they're seeing a gun in a school parking lot,
Mm-hmm.
police presence going to show up.
Right.
That
Mhm.
person's going to get in trouble.
And they'll investigate what did
Yeah.
you see, and then it's either you have to lie to the police, which ends poorly oftentimes, or tell them the truth, which could also end poorly.
Right.
That I lied.
So something
Both
is
of those
going
kind
to,
of suck.
especially in this age, nobody's not going to take that
Mhm.
lightly anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not getting into that topic. Nope, we're not
Yeah.
talking about that. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Nothing to
Most-
get into with that.
So you're saying just misinformation with nothing actually happening is fine.
right. So somebody posted, like, well, see, that's just it, because that's a fine line of, like, somebody posts that something's going to happen. So, but if you post some random nonsense, like,
Mhm.
that doesn't need a police presence to show up
Like
to.
Elon Musk is a
Yeah.
hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
I
Right,
have
there
proof.
we go.
I have proof.
There's
Yeah.
there's nothing that's going to come from that.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you should not get in trouble for lying, because like Josh, everybody lies every day on the
Yeah.
internet.
But I don't know. I just feel like any lie always finds some kind of reaction. Even maybe it's not a police one, but could be just parents wanting to go get their kid out of school or do something differently, or make them just make them worry. What parents are not worrying about their kids nowadays when stuff like this happening. It's just a lot of negativity that swirls around it that it does cause. So there's always technically an action happening.
Yeah, but I think that is so severe that that comment, that type of comment.
But who gauges what is severe and what's not? And I feel like
Misinformation
that.
is far bigger
And
than school
and
shootings.
I feel like that part is subjective because, like, okay, yeah, it may seem like a huge deal to you, but it may be taken serious to others. And I think that's the problem with misinformation and knowingly spreading it.
So it's knowingly saying something you know isn't true.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a great time last on a trip with my family, even though the kids cried the whole time. So like, would that be punishable?
I'm
You're
talking
purposely saying
about
something that's not true.
things that are like that would affect the community.
And who judges that?
Yeah.
If it's a community thing or versus a family thing. I mean, I think you can pretty much tell the difference with that.
Maybe. Like if I said I found a hair at Fletcher's food, like at the restaurant, that would be a lie. That could impact their business. People would be hurt by that.
Yeah.
Not
But
physically.
what's honestly,
I know.
what could happen from that?
So 10 people aren't going to go eat there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
saying you found what you keep talking about, like the school shooting stuff, is like that is like the most drastic.
Like, you're reacting to that no matter what, probably.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
people just lying over the internet about just random things
Mhm.
or events or people.
You're picking like the most hot button of hot button issues.
But
Yeah.
like, there's like things like, I mean, guys that get accused of rape and they're not
Yeah.
guilty. Like that's another thing. Like
Yeah.
that's just
That
also
sticks with people.
And that's a
Yeah.
good point.
And people
yeah.
talk about that forever.
yeah.
I've
Yeah,
heard like
sometimes.
like
What happens
Chris
to
or
those
something
people?
like that.
Mhm.
Like male school teachers that oftentimes are guilty, but once in a while are not guilty of these inappropriate things with the students,
Mhm.
and just an accusation, even if it's a lie and admitted as a lie, will derail your career.
So
For
you could
forever.
lose
Yeah.
years of your life.
Yeah, I just feel like
People end up in jail. over
I feel like all of it is just subjective. It just depends on what the matter is and how serious and severity and the actions and stuff. But like, I think when it comes to something like that serious,
Of course.
there's
Well, yeah.
always an action happening.
But I
So-
think that's but we have
Yeah.
those laws, so I think
That's
something
been around for a while. Isn't just like
Yeah.
calling in like
a bomb.
police for no reason,
Mhm.
Yeah.
for no
Well,
issue.
and they say the
Falls under
reason
that
why it's
umbrella.
happening so much is because of the response that they get from the community around
Of
it. So
course.
it's just like, and that's what they want. They want everyone to be
Of
scared. They
course.
want to spread fear. So then
Yeah.
the more you go to Facebook or Twitter and you're saying, "Oh, I saw this," even though it didn't happen, you're playing into their hands. You're doing exactly what they want you
But
to
that
do.
That
if
stuff
you
could
know
happen
or don't,
without
if
media too.
What's that?
That stuff could happen without media too.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say it could just be
Right,
like
we live in
something in a school, and
we live in
then
a small town, word
Mm-hmm.
spreads literally
you
like
don't need
rapid
Facebook.
fire. You don't need Facebook
Yeah.
in our town. You don't. But
Mm-hmm.
so if I read a post on the internet, someone who posted that I saw a kid in the parking lot with a gun.
Mhm.
I'm pulling my kid out of school, whether I know that that's true or not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And then if
Yeah.
I turn around and I post that
Yeah.
without knowing if the rumor
Mhm.
is true
Mm-hmm.
or not, I am not at fault here.
Yeah.
That person who posted that 100% is in there. We do have those laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This happened last year or earlier this year.
Just last week.
Our schools had it was like, I pulled my son out of school.
Mhm.
The police flat out, they came out and they were like, "Oh, it's just a hoax. It's fine. Everything's fine." I still didn't let my kid go to school the next day,
Right, but
just in case.
Wasn't
Just in
there
case.
investigation with that before?
Yeah, I mean, they had.
I'm just saying.
they
I'm
had-
not.
It was a post that was swirling around social media, and they
Yeah.
were straight up like, "Yeah, this is not.
Yeah.
We don't even know what school they're talking
Right.
about." It was totally like they were giving us all comfort
Right.
things that that like, "Oh, okay, I feel comfortable now." But me, I was like, "No, I'm not sitting my
Yeah,
son."
it's a.
And that was my choice, but still, it was because of that rumor that made me
Right.
make that decision.
Right, absolutely.
There's
and
no
I'm-
issue with that.
Yeah. There's no issue. No, we all agree. We all. I don't have children. I don't have school age children.
Hmm.
But I don't know how I would feel then because unfortunately, I've never had to deal with such.
Yeah,
But
I think our kids went that day.
yeah. It's
fine line.
it's a
We
hard
didn't care.
it's a hard decision because me, I was thinking like they're probably going to be fine. They're probably going to be okay, and I know I'm overreacting. But like,
Better
Yeah.
safe
if
than
something was to happen,
Yeah.
and then I have to stop and think like, man, I should
You blame yourself.
Yeah, you would for the rest of
Yeah.
your life. Yeah.
Mhm.
But the person who posted or said or the note that run around with that,
Yeah.
I don't ever know it because they don't ever tell you who gets in trouble for that. I'm sure they did. We do have those laws.
Yes.
Yeah.
you do.
You know, we do. Like
Mhm.
this is all the umbrella of like in the '90s. It was bomb threats.
Yeah.
You know, people call them bomb threats.
Right.
Same.
Yeah, false reporting, I mean, that's been a
Yeah,
thing for a
that's-
long time. Misinformation has been a thing for a very long time, but now, because of the issues that we have with this country, with the amount of mass shootings happening,
Right.
it's just getting more and more annoying. How you can't go anywhere. You can't go a day without it being in the back of your mind. I don't care who you are.
You're just changing the verbiage, whether it's a
Mhm.
mass shooting, bomb threat, school shooting. It's all the
Mhm.
same. It's all the same concept.
It's all fear.
It's all And the person who said or did whatever began it all is the one that's liable.
Yeah. So anyway, so back to the topic, just to cap it off. So misinformation in general should not be no legal consequence.
Fortunately, we're protected by the First Amendment of that.
I would say no.
Yeah.
I know.
All right. Well, there we have it.